Hello there, thanks for joining me this Monday. I'm Azlina Najri and these are tonight's headlines. Tan Sri Musa Aman slapped with 35 graft charges. Sarawak to impose 5% sales tax on petroleum products. And unlimited monthly rail bus passes only for Malaysians. We begin this evening with Tan Sri Musa Aman, who was charged today with 35 counts of corruption involving $63.3 million or 250 million ringgit in connection with timber concessions contracts in Sabah. The former Sabah Chief Minister pleaded not guilty to all charges. Tan Sri Musa arrived at the Kota Kinabalu Courts complex at 1:25 p.m. and was escorted by several Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) officers. He was accused of receiving the bribes in his position as Sabah Chief Minister and Chairman of Yayasan Sabah Board of Trustees to give timber concession contracts to 16 companies between December 2004 and November 2008. If found guilty under the MACC Act, the Sungai Sibuga Assemblyman faces imprisonment of 29 years and a fine not less than 5 times the amount of the bribe or 10,000 ringgit, whichever is higher. Earlier, Deputy Public Prosecutor Datuk Sri Gopal Sri Ram proposed a 5 million ringgit bail to be imposed on the accused. The court then allowed 2 million ringgit bail and set December 13th for mention. The 67-year-old assemblyman was arrested by the MACC earlier this morning in Putrajaya. The charges against him come 2 days before the court is set to rule on his challenge against Datuk Sri Muhammad Shafiq Abdal's legitimacy as Sabah's current Chief Minister. Now, a mechanic was charged at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court with bribing a policeman to avoid arrest for vehicle theft. 32-year-old Muhammad Firdaus Hassan claimed trial to the charge before Judge Azman Ahmad. During Operation Op Lejang, Muhammad Firdaus allegedly offered a 15,000 ringgit bribe to Corporal Shawal Karya as an inducement not to arrest him for being involved in a motorcycle theft. The offence was allegedly committed at Sri Penara Apartment, Bandar Sri Permaisuri in Cheras on October 18th. The charge under the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Act carries an imprisonment of not more than 20 years or a fine not less than 5 times the amount of the bribe or 10,000 ringgit, whichever is higher if convicted. The court set bail at 10,000 ringgit and fixed December 5th for mention. A Ukrainian woman was sentenced to life imprisonment by the Pulau Pinang High Court today, and she was handed down the punishment by Judge Dato Abdul Wahab Muhammad after she was found guilty of trafficking cocaine 3 years ago. The 24-year-old accused, Lopatkina Klavdia, broke down in tears after the court meted out the sentence. A man believed to be her husband, who waited for her outside the court, was also in tears after finding out about the sentence. In his judgment, the judge said the accused had plenty of time to check the 2 plastic bags she brought from Dubai to Kuala Lumpur and then to Penang. Instead, she just did not take the chance to check inside the bags, which she claimed contained chocolates. Previously, Klavdia was released by the High Court, but the prosecution team appealed at the Court of Appeal, and the court ordered the accused to enter her defense. The woman, who was 1 month pregnant when she was arrested and gave birth to a baby girl while she was in prison, was charged with trafficking 1.5 kilograms of cocaine at the Pulau Pinang International Airport on December 31st, 2015. For that offence, she was charged under the Dangerous Drugs Act, which carries a death sentence if convicted. Now over in Terengganu, a school teacher who allegedly assaulted his student for skipping prayers and doing revision was charged at the Marang Magistrates Court with 4 counts of causing hurt. 33-year-old Ahmad Fakhru Razi Suhaimi claimed trial when the charges were read out before Magistrate Engku Nurul Ain Engku Muda. The teacher, who is also the school's warden, allegedly caused grievous hurt to the Form 2 student by caning and kicking her waist for skipping prayers. The victim was also caned on her shoulders and head, apart from being kicked on her thigh and buttocks. It was alleged that the assault took place at SMK Pengkalan Berangan's Girl Hostel last September 11th. If found guilty, the teacher can be jailed up to a year or fined 2,000 ringgit. The court fixed November 18th for remention of the case. An SPM candidate died after a drunk driver rammed into the motorcycle he was riding in Temerloh, Pahang early this morning. The 2:50 a.m. incident occurred at Jalan Temerloh Jerantut near Kampung Datuk Sharif Ahmad. District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Zundin Mahmud said the driver of the Proton Persona, a soldier believed to be under the influence of alcohol, lost control of the car before crashing into 3 motorcycles. The victim, 17-year-old Muhammad Aiman Ngatimin, a student at SMK Kuala Krau, died on the spot, while his 2 friends, aged 14 and 17, sustained head and leg injuries. The body was taken to Sultan Haji Ahmad Shah Hospital for post-mortem. Police have recorded the 29-year-old driver's statement, and authorities also found several bottles of alcohol in the car, while a preliminary urine test on the driver came out positive. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act for causing death by reckless or dangerous driving. Now, in other news, Sarawak has introduced a 5% sales tax on petroleum products in the state, effective January 1st next year. Its Chief Minister, Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Abang Openg, said the move aimed at boosting the state's revenue was done following thorough analysis and careful consideration. According to the CM, the move is expected to rake in some 3.897 billion ringgit in revenue for the state next year. This new revenue stream, together with other sources of revenue as well as alternative funding, will help support the state in its undertakings on major development programs and projects.
The sales tax will be levied on petroleum products, namely 1. Crude oil, 2. Natural gas, 3. Liquefied natural gas, 4. Chemical-based fertilizer, and 5. Gas to liquid products.
Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari, who is also State Finance and Economic Planning Minister, added Sarawak will now be able to accelerate its development to be at par with Peninsular Malaysia, narrow the income disparity between urban and the rural areas, improve the quality of life of the people, especially in rural communities, and achieve a high-income state status by 2030. Earlier today, Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari, when tabling the Supply 2019 bill at the State Legislative Assembly sitting, announced a budget of 11.9 billion ringgit for that year, the biggest in its history. Of the total, 76%, or about 9 billion ringgit, was allocated for development expenditures, while the rest were earmarked for operating expenditures. Now, the 30-day unlimited travel pass for rail and rapid KL bus services, as announced in the recently unveiled 2019 budget, can only be used via MyCard, MyTentra and MyKid. The move to limit the facility to Malaysian identity cards via their touch-and-go function is to ensure that only Malaysian citizens benefit from the initiative. Transport Minister Anthony Lok said MyCard and MyTentra holders can start subscribing to the pass beginning December 1st and commence using the facility from January 1st, while MyKid holders can start subscribing from December 15th. Subscriptions can be obtained at all MRT and LRT stations and at 4 bus hubs, namely Bandar Shah Alam, Greenwood in Gombak, Sri Nilam in Ampang and the Kajang Terminal. He also said the travel pass is valid for 30 days beginning from the first usage and can be used in the MRT, LRT, monorail, rapid KL bus, rapid transit bus and MRT feeder bus services. In the tabling of the 2019 budget last Friday, the government announced the Unlimited Travel Pass initiative with an allocation of 240 million ringgit, which is in line with the current administration's move to boost public transport usage. The initiative is expected to benefit at least 45% Rapid Rail Services users and nearly 100% of Rapid KL bus service users in the Klang Valley. Now, Singapore has expressed its willingness to consider abolishing or reducing the toll fees for motorcyclists who enter the country via the Second Link Expressway. Its Transport Ministry said this was in line with Malaysia's move to abolish toll for motorcyclists on the Malaysia-Singapore Bridge starting January next year. According to Singapore's The Straits Times, the Republic will revise the toll fees accordingly as it welcomes collaborative efforts between the two neighbouring countries. When tabling the 2019 budget in the Dewan Rakyat on Friday, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng announced that the toll for motorcyclists plying the Second Link Expressway in Johor will be abolished from January 1st, 2019. Now, Johor Immigration Department Director Datuk Rohaizi Bahari said some 40,000 motorcyclists travel via the bridge linking Johor Bahru with Singapore on a daily basis. The toll rates for motorcyclists on the expressway are currently set at RM1.10 in Malaysia and about RM1.20 in Singapore. MCA's sole representative in Parliament, Datuk Sri Dr. Wee Ka Siong, has emerged victorious in a three-cornered fight for the party's #1 post. This was announced after the party election concluded late last night.
The Ayer Hitam Member of Parliament, who will be MCA President for the 2018-2021 term, garnered 447 votes, beating the party's Kluang Division Chief, Gan Ping Siu, who clinched only 182 votes. Another candidate, Ngu Tek Kyong, who is MCA Burwas Division Youth Chief, failed to secure any ballots.
Overwhelming response and support from the people, from the divisional delegates. Ini satu endorsement kepada kita, suntikan semangat kepada pasukan baru MCA, dan saya ingin mengucapkan sekali lagi terima kasih pada pucuk pimpinan yang lalu yang diterajui oleh Datuk Seri Leow Tiong Lai yang telah memimpin parti ini lebih daripada 4 tahun dan hampir 5 tahun, dan beliau telah menunjukkan prestasi yang baik dan memastikan perpaduan parti ini sentiasa dalam keadaan yang terbaik. Ataupun selepas satu pemilihan, kita sepatutnya close rank dan kita sepatutnya menunjukkan kematangan kita berpolitik dan kita meletakkan kepentingan parti melebihi segala-galanya.
Meanwhile, Datuk Dr. Mah Hang Sun was named his deputy after beating Johor MCA Deputy Chairman Datuk T. Siu Kiong. The 4 vice president positions were filled by Lim Ban Hong, Tan Teck Cheng, T. Lian Ker, and Yu Tiong Luk. It is worth noting that Datuk Sri Leow Tiong Lai did not seek re-election for the top post following the Barisan Nasional Component Party's poor showing in the 14th general election, GE14, on May 9th. Leow lost his seat as Bentong MP to PKR's Wong Tak. MCA was also almost wiped out in GE14, winning only 1 parliamentary seat out of the 129 it contested, as well as 2 state seats.
Now, more after the break. Failed robbery turns into high-speed chase in Bukit Mertajam. Stay right there. Welcome back. Now let's head into clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. So in action movies, we're used to watching high-speed chases between cops and robbers, but such scenes become a reality for road users in Bukit Mertajam on Saturday. A footage of the terrifying pursuit went viral since yesterday after it was uploaded online and shared across various platforms, garnering over 100,000 views. The viral video shows a heart-stopping chase between a Nissan Sentra, believed to be carrying 3 robbers, and 2 members of the Seberang Perai Tengah Voluntary Security Association, PKSSPT, riding on their respective motorcycles. Earlier, the 3 suspects reportedly attempted to rob a house but fled as the alarm rang. This then alerted 2 PKSSPT members, who then went after the suspects. It was understood that following the chase, the volunteer members found the suspect's car, which had crashed at an oil palm plantation, but its registration number plate had been removed. It was also believed that the perpetrators were using a fake number plate for their criminal activities. Now updated as of 7 p.m, here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. Okay, since a long time ago, sari is worn by Indian women, not just while doing daily household chores, but also when going out or at their workplace. In Malaysia, the evolution of fashion and climatic conditions are major factors why less people would opt for the wrapped garment. However, the traditional clothing has received a new lease of life with modern, contemporary styles, as it is considered an integral part of Indian culture and identity. Farah Nabila Wazir has more.
Sari is one of the oldest traditional attires that is still being worn to this day. In almost every Indian woman's wardrobe, you will find the colourful outfit, usually measuring 5 to 6 meters in length, but nowadays the sari is no longer worn conventionally. Although it is put on mostly during ceremonial events and special occasions, designers have started to modernize the design of the attire so that it is no longer considered as just traditional clothing.
Dulu lagi panjang. Kalau gambar-gambar dulu black and white yang tengok tu, kain dia boleh macam sapu lantai. Tapi sekarang east meet west is very modern, so we have revolusi yang begitu ketara in fashion and sari. You boleh pakai sari dengan jeans, you boleh pakai sari dengan skirt, you can buy sari dengan lege.
Alright, besides wearing it traditionally, sari can also be styled into something modern. Alright, right now I'm going to demonstrate how to wear sari with pants. All you need to do is just fold the cloth into pleats and then you tuck it in your jeans or pants like this. And then the rest of the cloth, you take it behind your back like this. And then the one with the design on it, you put it over your shoulder like this. So as you can see, this is how you wear it. Okay, you can wear this style of sari to any open houses or any ceremony. When asked about the look for this year's Deepavali celebration, the sari expert said a fusion of cotton and silk sari materials would be the in-trend to go with.
You know, kan trend ikut gambar latest cinema. So sekarang latest cinema dekat channel semua taruh back all the actress mula pakai cotton dengan heavy jewels, pakai jewel diri dia besar-besar, kain dia simple-simple. So sekarang semua orang pun nak ikut macam tu fashion.
Now Puan Sri Siu Yong Nanalingam has a different story. She argues that sari has exclusive value and that it should only be worn for certain occasions.
I really do appreciate the beauty of it, you see, that's why I quite love it. and you kind of suddenly transform for me, because maybe I'm Chinese and I wear that. It becomes quite transforming. Maybe for somebody who wears sari every day, maybe not as meaningful to wear.
Puan Sri Siu started wearing the sari after she married her husband, who's an Indian, 45 years ago. The 71-year-old former Malaysia Airlines spokesperson said wearing saris with pants will reduce the aesthetic value of the garment.
No, I think it will spoil the whole thing. Well, I'm maybe old-fashioned. I'm more traditional. I'm, much older generation.
It does not matter whether people prefer wearing traditional or modern saris. The numerous style of donning the garment, coupled with accessories such as bracelets, chunky earrings and necklace, will definitely enliven the Festival of Lights around the world. Farah Nabila Wazir for Cyber Division.
Now, the government has given Hindu civil servants an additional 1 day unrecorded leave for Deepavali starting this year. The good news was delivered through an official circular issued by Public Service Director General Borhan Dollah today. In the statement, Borhan said the additional holiday is given with the aim to give civil servants more time to celebrate the festival with their family members. This is applicable for all officers in the civil service, officers at statutory bodies and officers working for the local authorities. The Festival of Light is declared as a public holiday across all states in Malaysia except for Sarawak. In the meantime, here's some good news for travellers. Japan Airlines is offering a total of 800 daily domestic flights. That's 59 airports in conjunction with the launch of its new regional advertisement campaign, Discover Your Colour. The network covers 9 regions within Japan, namely Tohoku, Kyushu, Hokkaido, Chugoku, Shikoku, Chubu, Okinawa, Kansai and Kanto.
Because there are so many people now who are getting more and more interested in Japan, and they're doing travels out of the big cities, so we really want to offer that opportunity or that option to our customers and travelers.
From Kuala Lumpur, tourists can now fly straight to Tokyo before heading to other cities offered by the airline. Each location is different every season, offering visitors a one-of-a-kind experience. The airline was also recently certified as a 5-star airline by Skytrax for its quality service, award-winning in-flight seats, as well as service with a touch of Japanese hospitality. In the meantime, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad arrived in Tokyo today for a packed 3-day working visit to Japan, his 3rd trip to the country after taking office as Malaysia's 7th Prime Minister in May. The aircraft carrying the Premier, who is accompanied by his wife, Tun Dr. Siti Hasmah Muhammad Ali, touched down at Haneda International Airport at about 4 p.m. local time. On hand to welcome him and the delegation at the airport were Foreign Minister Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah, Japan's Foreign Affairs State Minister Toshiko Abe, Japanese Ambassador to Malaysia Dr. Makio Miyagawa, as well as Malaysian Ambassador to Japan Dato' Ahmad Izlan Idris. The highlight of the Prime Minister's visit is the ceremony of Imperial Conferment of Decoration Investiture, the Grand Cordon of the Order of Paulonia Flowers by the Emperor of Japan on Tuesday at the Imperial Palace. The conferment of Japan's highest award by Emperor Akihito is in recognition of Tun Dr. Mahathir's huge contributions in strengthening bilateral ties between the two countries. Another highlight of Tun Dr. Mahathir's visit is a meeting with his Japanese counterpart, Shinzo Abe, at the Prime Minister's office, which will be held after the conferment. Just a few hours after his arrival, the Prime Minister was also conferred an honorary doctorate by Tsukuba University at the university's Tokyo campus, which is the highest recognition by the university for his contributions to advance international exchange in the field of research and education. Now, when we come back, torrential storms wipe out 2 families in Sicily. The details next.